Hi friends, Roy Huntington here. Welcome to another First Look. Today we're going to do something a little different than what we usually do. Rather than focusing on some new gun or some new ammunition or something like that, I want to talk about something that's just as important. If you're new to shooting and you're at that stage where you're going, gosh, this is really fun, bang, bang, look, holes appear in the paper. I get it, and it's wonderful, and keep doing it, and keep practicing, and stay safe. Except as time passes, and you want to grow, you want to improve, you want to hone the edge, you want to learn more about shooting and yourself, well, you need to start looking at some specific things. And most people concentrate on guns, ammunition, hearing protection, eye protection, and all that is important. But for some reason, targets tend to take a back seat. And I think that's a mistake. When you're first starting out, any shooting is good shooting. I mean, pay attention, think about sight picture, think about trigger squeeze, but if you're pulling the trigger, you're learning, you're growing, and it's really important. But while stapling up a white paper plate and shooting at it is fine if you're playing around and stuff, when you really want to learn, when you really want to ramp the game up, well, then I think it's really important to pay just as much attention to what you're shooting at as what it is you're shooting. And what I mean by that is different targets sort of bolster different ways of training and different ways of thinking. If you're shooting at a bold silhouette and you're kind of doing a, let's shoot fast, draw from the holster combat thing, you'll be shooting at a different target than say this target. And there are reasons for it. Don Robertson, he's the founder of Tactical Target Systems. He's a retired cop, and so like me has spent countless hours on police ranges, probably all over the country, getting trained, training, shooting guns, stapling targets, trying to get all this information crammed into your brain. And he noticed something that frankly I always noticed too. The classic police B-27 silhouette target, where it's the the black profile and the guy with his arm bent, well, that's really fine. And if you're just sort of gauging, targeting and shooting groups and scoring, that's fine. But it has no bearing in the real world. So one day Don thought, I can do better than this. I mean, with the real world experience that a guy like he has, he's been in the field, he's pointed guns at bad guys. He had a sense of maybe what would make that part of training a bit more realistic and a bit more applicable than just banging away at some, silhouette target that we've all shot at so many times that we hardly even see it anymore. Well, after a lot of research, talking to other shooters, talking to other policemen, looking at his own career, what his own background in shooting was, he came up with a cross-section of really solid ideas. And, I've shot about every target in the world you could ever try to shoot at. And after Don sent me a package of a cross-section of his targets, I have to say, they all really show a lot of thought and production quality. And I think it's important we talk about them now. Oh, this is one of my favorite ones that he does. It's called the MultiUse Target. And he's got handgun competition, illuminated scopes and lasers, and rifles, and which makes it really versatile. So let's say you're sighting in your red dot, you can use this one. It depends on the range. If maybe you've got a small bore, 22 or something like that, you might want to focus on this one at 25 yards. If you've got a casual competition going over the weekend, hey, one shot in each one of these, whoever does it the fastest. And so it's a really versatile target. What I like about it particularly is the fact that you can score right here on the target, and it makes it really easy to score. They have gradient lines and all that kind of stuff. It comes in several different colors. I like the green, but let me give you an idea of a couple things you could do with this target. I'm a firm believer in this ankle weight theory, and that is that if you've ever worn ankle weights, when you first put them on, you think, holy cow, I can hardly walk with these. And so you walk around, maybe you run a little bit. And then when you take them off, it feels like you can jump over the house. Well, the same thing applies to shooting. Now think about this and bear with me for a minute. If you set this target up at some distance, it doesn't matter what it is, 5 yards, 10 yards, 20 yards, whatever you're comfortable shooting with. I like to start on this small target. And so what you're doing here is you're taking very precise, well-aimed shots at the smallest targets. And then you continue to do the same as the targets get bigger and bigger and bigger. But now the magic happens. Let's say on target 4, 3, 2, and 1, you push the envelope a little bit. Go a little faster now. Watch your trigger squeeze, make sure it's smooth, watch your sight picture, make sure you're holding it. But the beauty of this is you've been concentrating so hard on hitting tiny groups here that when you're finally confronted with this bigger targets, it's like shooting at the broadside of a barn. You think, well, wow, this is easy. How the heck can I miss this? So again, really versatile. You can have a lot of fun with casual competition, but what I like best about this particular design is it allows you to push yourself personally, and you can work on accuracy, speed, smoothness, and work smart. Man does not live by handguns alone. Tactical Target System also puts out these two rifle handgun targets. Extreme long range rifle target, I think it's self-explanatory, and a short to medium range target. And this is interesting because if you have a small bore, you can play this game here. Let's say you've got a center fire that's really accurate. Set this up at 100 yards if you want to. Shooting at 500 yards, you've got a solution right here. What's particularly good about this entire range of targets is they're beautifully printed. I mean, they're not blurry, they're not distorted. The paper's high quality, they're packed really well. More about the packing later. Now, their combat training target is a little more conventional in the sense that, it's kind of a classic silhouette there. I like the fact that it's got, the skeletal structural system set up inside, heart, lungs, that kind of stuff. This little outline here is what's basically the turn it off right now area. You shoot somebody right in here, and usually that's the end of that tune right now. I would use this target for, kind of close in, faster shooting. Maybe you're doing shoot and move. Maybe you're doing hostage, put another target in front of this, and you could use this as a hostage bad guy target. I mean, again, you're really only limited by your imagination. You could also use this for precision shooting. Maybe set this up at 100 yards and practice with your rifle. So the thing about all of the target systems that he has is, just like I said before, is that they're extremely high quality, they're crisply printed, and they're almost like an open book. They leave you a lot of ideas that you could build on, and I'm sure you'll come up with ideas that I haven't even thought of. I like these little sighting dots right here. I mean, that's kind of handy. Put your first shot here, see, are you dialed in or not? Settle down your nerves, and then go to work. Don at Tactical Target Systems has three, they call them self-defense targets. This particular one is anatomy, and you can see it's a little more realistic. You're looking at a face here, and but inside you can actually see veins, arteries, lungs, liver, major organs down here. It gives you a better chance to sort of visualize what's happening as you aim, and I promise you from personal experience, this, as opposed to just a generic blank silhouette, has really helps you to learn, this or that. I mean, it really helps you to focus on where you really need to be shooting. And sometimes it's surprising. People say, oh, well, there, I'm going to shoot the heart over there. No, actually, you're going to shoot the heart here. So there's a lot of things that you can learn if you just take your time and pay attention here. So it's also broken down. It tells you level 1, level 2, and level 3. And so basically a level 1 hit is catastrophic and terminal. A level 2 hit is serious, but they might be saved, you know. And then level 3 is a minor wound, and that's something that is not going to put somebody out of the fight probably. Well, this is a little more of a classic look to it. I think especially if you're a policeman, you've all, you know, engaged these armed bad guy targets. But what I like about this is that it still has the definitive areas where it shows the lethality of your shots. And so this gives you a chance to sort of go from that anatomy one up into something that's a little more real world. So you'll use what you've learned where you could really see the organs clearly. And now that's going to translate into, okay, now how do I find that on an undefined target? Well, this is how you find it. I wanted to tell you too, Don did a really smart thing. When you buy targets from him, he ships them to you in a box that's specifically made to put up on a target frame. So that means you get your targets and you have a place to staple them too. Well, there you go, tacticaltargetsystems.com. I think Don's done a great job here. It's an interesting lineup. It pretty much covers all the bases. You can use it for precision targeting. You can use it for handguns or rifles at different ranges. You can have some fun shooting at zombies, or you can be a little more serious. But I think the lesson to learn here is the fact that if you've got the guns and you've got the ammo and you've got some experience on your belt, now is the time when you start focusing on learning more about what it is you're doing, learn more about what threats are, and learn more about how you stop these threats and what are the things you need to do in your training to improve your personal level of competency. And, you know, like I said, white paper plates are fine, but you know what? You need the right tools if you're really going to improve. All right, hey, remember the 4 firearm safety rules. Take a new shooter shooting and, well, watch out for the zombies, okay?